The main purpose is to help the tourists come here. There's the details of the tourist spot in Cherrapunji, kilometer also here. And there's a road all written here. You will know where to go, you will find all place here. We provide guys, we tell them the story of the tourist spot here.
Riva Inipa Ilay, Riva Madruku, Bangpet Yapano.
Sohra, the wettest place on earth, is better known to the outside world as Cherrapunji. It lies on the lap of the southern slopes of the Khasi Hills, 53 kilometers away south of Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya. The town is about 1,404 meters above sea level, lying between 25.17 degrees north latitude and 91.47 degrees east longitude. It covers an area of about 780 square kilometers with a population of about 10,000. The average density of rain generally received between June up to August annually is between 10,200 millimeters and 11,250 millimeters, which is a result keeps the summer temperature at 23.2 degrees Celsius, while winter temperature keeps a wholesome 8.8 degrees Celsius. This small town is associated with British colonial history since 1833, when the British established their headquarters at Nong Saulia and also raised the status of Sohra to the state capital of the pre-independence, undivided Assam. But the rain gods shattered the spirits of the British, who were compelled to shift the headquarters to Shillong in 1866. The bare landscape of Sohra is set against the green backdrop of the southern slopes called Rewar, which fall sharply touching the vast expanse of the Bangladesh plains. There are, however, some green patches of sacred groves and protected forests that dot the empty and rocky landscapes of the town. Yet, the town is richly endowed with natural resources like limestone, coal, and the other minerals. Limestone reserves at Sohra is both quantitatively and qualitatively impressive. Considering this vast potential, the erstwhile Assam government set up in 1966 the Mamlo Cherra Cement Limited with a considerable daily output. Iron is also known to have been found in the town. Prior to the coming of the British, iron smelting activity was a lucrated business of the people of Sohra. The ore was extracted and smelted in a primitive manner, but there was no written record as to how the iron smelting activities came to a stop. The now uninhabited hamlet of Rangjarte, which lies close to the breathtaking Naukalikai Falls, was famous for the primitive iron smelting activities. The people of Sohra are also engaged in agricultural activities, cane and bamboo work, beekeeping, etc. The people are also adept in trade and commerce, which in the heydays was carried on with the erstwhile East Pakistan. This had been always a strong pillar which augmented the economy of the people. Up to now, this line of occupation has remained ever attractive to the people of Sohra. In 1813, Chandrapal, a Christian missionary from Serampore, failed to make headway in the Khasi Hills and reached up to Pandwa and converted only a handful of Khasis. But after 8 months, Chandrapal had to go back to Serampore. Hence, the first attempt to Christianize the Khasi failed. In 1832, Alexander Bilish arrived at Sohra and attempted to revive the pioneering works of Chandrapal. Later in 1841, Reverend Thomas Jones of the Welsh Presbyterian Mission set foot at Sohra. He discovered that the local people did not have the scripts of their own, which hindered the progress of the missionaries in their evangelical work. He therefore took up the challenging task of preparing the Khasi scripts by adopting the Roman scripts and employing the Sohra dialect. The venture worked wonder. It created a landmark in the birth of the Khasi literature, and Sohra dialect became the mother tongue for the written Khasi literature. It was for this great contribution to the Khasi literature that Reverend Thomas Jones will always be remembered in history as the father of Khasi alphabets. Once the local people became literate, the Welsh missionaries did not find any difficulty in opening up primary schools at Sohra, Maumlo and Mausmai. Later, Dr. Griffith Hughes, who succeeded Reverend Thomas Jones, opened the Cherra Presbyterian High School in 1847 and the Normal Training School in 1866, both at Nongsaulia. In 1887, Dr. John Roberts started the Theological College at Nongsaulia itself. The Catholic missionaries came later in 1897, headed by the Salvatorians from Germany who started the mission at Sohra, dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. After the First World War, the Salvatorians were asked to leave India, and in 1922 the Salesian missionaries of Don Bosco took up the job of reviving the pioneering works launched by the Salvatorians. The Salesians rededicated the missions of Sohra to Saint John Bosco Shrine and established 2 schools and hostels for boys and girls respectively after the patron saint of the mission. The Ramakrishna Mission. This mission built an ashram, a high school with a hostel and a vocational training institute. This mission plays a vital role in the spread of education in Sohra and its adjoining areas. Sohra is a land of picturesque beauty, clothed and endowed by nature, which attracts and excites many lovers of nature and tourists as well. Sohra is the land of many waterfalls that are so sweet and beautiful to look at, especially in the summer season, when these falls make a mighty roaring sound and flow in cascades down to the waiting blue rivulets and streams below. These falls not only look really beautiful, but they also have interesting legends woven around them, and which our grandparents love to recall now and then. Another interesting spot for sightseeing by tourists are the caves or the Krem Puban, such as Mausmai Cave, Maumlo Cave, Lau Kliang Cave, Wat Maurya Cave, Dam Cave, Pulut Cave. These caves are known for their wonderful beauty on account of the stalactites which cling to the top as if carved, especially the smooth surfacing in curious shapes and the many small streams that flow inside these caves. The Mausmai Cave is the most popular and has all the necessary facilities for such visits by tourists. Mamlo Cave was once a very popular tourist spot, and it was the most beautiful cave in Sohra. But due to widespread mining of limestone quarries and gradual erosion of big water pools, all routes to the entrance of the cave have been totally blocked.
फोटो वाला देखना कोई एडवेंचर वाइज में चल 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 हमारा पिक्चर आ गया
बहुत मजा आया अभी
साइड हो जाओ फोटो आ रहा है गुफा से निकलने वाली फोटो इधर गुफा का एंडिंग देखो थोड़ा
चल
गुफा का एंडिंग देखो उधर
Ramjirte, a hamlet that was once noted for the hectic iron smelting activities developed indigenously by the Khasis, was closed down by the Same or the chief of the state of Sohra since long time for reasons best known to the Same himself. It was in this hamlet that there once lived a woman of a tragic character called Kalikai. Kalikai's husband died when their only daughter was but a child. Kalikai remarried in order to augment her livelihood. Unfortunately, however, her second husband turned out to be a blood-sucking brute who ill-treated both Kalikai and stepdaughter. Poverty, hunger and insecurity compelled Kalikai to engage in odd jobs at the iron smelting trade, then thriving at Rangjirte. She left the daughter to the care of the evil stepfather. Coming home for meal at noon, one day after hard slogging at the smelting place, Kalikai felt awesome at the hush of stillness that reigned her humble one-room dwelling. She was silent and remained still. It was only the rings of smoke that were emitted by dying embers from the hearth in the middle of the hut that went up lazily, that seemed to have a sinister life in them. She couldn't figure out how the stepfather and the daughter could get along, but she resigned herself to fate, believing her daughter must have been taken out for a stroll by her husband. She then set herself at rest and sat down on the floor for a meal. The delicious meat curry softened Kalikai's heart and also her attitude towards the stepfather, that she kindly picturized him as an adorable angel who took pains to prepare the savory meat curry that she enjoyed a moment before. After relishing her meal, she straightened her tired legs for a relief, while her right hand automatically reached out for a basket of betel nuts that was nearby. All of a sudden, her composed self was shattered by the ghastly reality when her fingers touched and felt the tiny, lifeless and severed palm and fingers of her own daughter that were intentionally hidden in the betel nut basket by her wicked husband. The thought of her husband slaughtering her only daughter for meat could not contain her any longer. Above all, the feasting on her own child's flesh drove Kalikai to extreme madness and self-reproach. Brandishing the kitchen knife in the air, Kalikai rushed out of her hut in search of the murderer, but to no avail. The fall that lies south of Rangjarte was the only last hope that welcomed Kalikai to the total erasing of the tormenting agony that lay before her. Kalikai threw herself down, allowing the cascading waterfalls to transport her to eternal rest. Ever since, Kalikai Falls remains to this day a significant reminder which, amidst nature's enticing beauty, records the tragic end of Kalikai. The fall lies 5.80 kilometers west of Sohra. This falls has captivated an innumerable crowd of nature lovers from all over the world. Its breathtaking and picturesque beauty and the haunting tragedy of Kalikai attached to it more than often creates a nostalgic feeling in the minds of visitors who never miss a second visit of the fall.
I am from UP. We are here for last more than 20 years.
How many times you have visited?
I think more than a dozen.
Okay, are you still going to visit again this place?
Yeah, surely.
This is Daintlan Falls, located about 9.5 kilometers away from the main market of Sohra. According to legends, once there was the huge python that was called in Khasi Uthlen that lived in a cave by the side of the falls. This python used to devour on any living creatures that happened to pass by. Not only livestock fall victims to this devilish python, but also human beings. This devouring of hapless victims went on, till the villagers thought of a plan to destroy the python that had grown so monstrously fat and bulky. The villagers finally agreed to a plan. One man should go to the python to ask what it liked best on a Sohra market day known as Yoba. One fine morning on Yoba, the man approached the python and called from a distance. The python that was lying sluggishly in the cave was suddenly roused by the human voice. The man asked, "What would you love for a gift today?" The python moved idly, rolling the balls of his eyes in a thoughtful mood, and then blurted out after a moment, "I would appreciate a thick piece of warm, red and fatty pork." The man was happy with the response. He said, "It's my pleasure," and then left the place. In the afternoon, the man brought with him a red-hot stone just taken out of a furnace. He called at the python, "Open your mouth, I'll drop down my gift." The python immediately opened his mouth wide as a cave. He swallowed the burning stone at one shot, which burnt the entrails, killing the python by slow counts. The villagers then thronged around the dead python, slicing the body to pieces, like ants attacking an earthworm. To commemorate the event, the villagers carved out distinct impression of the baskets, kitchen knives and other sharp tools on the wall of the rock that tell tales to this day. The Thankarang Park is situated at about 12.5 kilometers south of Sohra market. It is the most beautiful tourist spot of Sohra. Nature has boundlessly showered on the place an indescribable beauty that has captivated the tourist.
Well, there's still light, no?
From the park, one can get a clear view of the plains of Bangladesh and the Kinrem Falls. Thankarang is located at the top of cliffs overlooking the winding forest tracks lying down the slopes of Rewar area. People used to halt at Thankarang before resuming on their journey to Sohra. While taking their rest, they were also busy roasting the fish for preservation. It was because of this normal activity of roasting the fish at this particular place that gradually the people have come to call the place Thankarang, which means roasting of fish.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I've been to Gangtok, I've been to Darjeeling, I've been to Kalimpong. This place is much more serene. Quality of people much more sweeter over here. Much more sweeter.
The beautiful park at the spot is now being maintained by the Forest Department of the Government of the State of Meghalaya. It is because of the enhancing beauty of the place that the people love to call Thankarang the paradise of Sohra.
कल तो चेरापूंजी आने दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे पूरा दिन भाई इतना अंदर होगा भैया
Eco Park is maintained by private firms on contractual basis with the Tourism Department of Meghalaya. It is known for family picnics and nature lovers. The streams cascading down the cliff of this park form the Seven Sisters Falls, or better known as North Nithiang Falls or Mausmai Falls. It consists of 7 major waterfalls, one besides the other, hence the name Seven Sisters Falls. Kakor Ramha, or the giant cone, which lies at a distance of about 13.5 kilometers south of Sohra, is another captivating tourist spot of Sohra. Kakor Ramha literally means kakor, a cone-shaped basket usually used for carrying anything by the Khasis, and Ramha, a giant. Hence, Khor Ramha means giant cone. The giant, legend says, was a man who took pride in his own Herculean build. This self-worship and pride was the cause of his own destruction. It is said that the villagers, being tired of his pride, made a plan and were finally able to kill him by feeding him broken glass along with the food. His basket still remains behind to remind one of how wicked he actually was. Kiklau Kentang, or the sacred groves, are forests that have been held with awe and respect for the sacredness attached to them. It is said that grave consequences used to befall on anyone with intention to destroy or even break a branch of a tree from these forests. Apart from these, there are also the protected forests, or Kiklau Adong. These are located all over Sohra. These forests provide firewood to the people. Only when trees have grown fully that the respective localities under each headman can fell trees for firewood or for the purpose of constructing houses. Kijingthang's aim, located at Pomsomen, Lower Sohra Market, are massive structures where the cremation of the Same or the chief of Sohra, princely state, took place earlier. In the whole of Khasi land, no other states have such special cremation grounds for their rulers. These cremation grounds have been constructed with finely polished slabs of stones arranged beautifully in a perfect architectural feat. When a Same dies, the subject makes a linkason to keep the Same's body. Then, a tabut that is beautifully and intricately adorned with paperwork is placed as a cover of the linkason. The frame of the tabut is made of wood and bamboo and raised to such a height, the upper part of it resembling a roof of a house. Kimaubana, or monoliths, are huge stone slabs that have been chiseled beautifully into squares or rectangles. These monoliths have been erected as monuments in memory of someone or to mark some historic event. A number of these monoliths have been erected since time immemorial. In and around Sohra, we can still find a few of these monoliths that adorn the landscape in small patches, but majority of them are located at Pomsopmem and Mausmai village on the way to Mausmai cave.
Liu Jing San